Hi guys, Ray here, welcome back. 24 hours later, I've jumped back on to do stage 3 flat as fast London flat again. So let's get racing. So yesterday I did this in range 2 on the 450 to 570 bracket, but this time this one is range 1 in the 390 to 510 bracket, and that's quite important to know. Yesterday I had a Zwift Racing score of 466, so in range 2, at the bottom end being 450, I was very much at the bottom end of the group, and the top end being 570. When I did look at Zwift, there was quite a few riders who were in the 570s. So I was very much dragged along by some strong riders yesterday. Today, with 466, 510 being the top end, so I'm kind of in the middle range towards the top end, so I expect a little bit more of a competitive race today. So you'll see here we've hit the first climb, and straight away riders pumping out some watts just to get over the top of it. But the pack pretty much stays together, pretty much like yesterday. The first lap for a lot of riders is probably a little bit of a sighter lap. Understand the parkour. I think a few riders from time to time try to go off the front, but as with all of these flat as fast series, it's quite difficult to stay away. Slightly bigger field than what I had yesterday in this same race, so 40 riders in this one. Yesterday's only had 29, and I managed 15th, but that was probably a little bit down to a bit of a knock I had on my knee, which was mentioned in the previous video. Coming up to the elevator ramp here, you try to stay near the front. Big watts getting pushed out on this steep ramp, and straight away you'll see on lap 1, bit silly, but an attack went off the front. Was nullified pretty quickly once we got over this climb, because it is a long way from lap 1 to try and stay away, but the pack closes in relatively quickly. So the aim for this one today is probably just try and sit in the pack, sit near the back, especially on these little ramps here and stuff like that. I'm going to try not to push to the front and just stay within the group, and then as we go over the top and it dips downhill, I'll just sail back on, really trying to save as many watts as I can. So this bit here is quite deceiving going through the tunnel. It goes up to 3%, but the climbing portal doesn't come up. And then straight away as you come through, the climbing portal comes up, and there's a little bit of a punch. And everyone was pushing the watts a little bit now just to try and split the pack up. But we are sitting in like the 30s. So as we go into the archway, I pick a power up, which is this one, Aero. I did learn from yesterday that the start finish point here doesn't give you another power up, so you'll see there a few people punch their power ups just before going through, and it didn't work. So in this instance I'm going to try and save it for later on, and there was me getting level 39, so now I've unlocked the disc wheel. You did see again someone went off the front there, but it was nullified pretty quickly. So lap 1 was pretty uneventful. Lap 2, as we start the climb and stuff, I do see people starting to try and punch off the front of the pack a little bit more, and there's a little bit more watts getting pushed on the climbs. I think they really are trying to thin the herd out, and there's a couple of attacks going off. I think some people on the short descents wanted to try and just get the aero tuck, just to try and save a little bit in their legs. So dropping down now, coming up to the elevator climbs, I am expecting some attacks over the top of this, and we see one straight away, and he does get a couple of second gap, and he stays away for a little bit, By the time we get to these climbs, we do kind of reel them in quite quickly. I did look on Z-Race before to see who had the sprint in this, and it was a guy called Dirk, I'm just keeping an eye on him as the race is going on, just to see where he is positioning himself, because we're coming up to the last little punch here, and then I expect it all hell to break loose on the final sprint. So as we go through the banner, I put my power up just beforehand, because I know as I go through I'll get another one, and it should assist with the sprint finish. And as we go under the banner for K to go, I'm on the front, which is not where I want to be, so I'll let the pack get back on, and you see straight away people are starting to pop their power-ups. I'm looking at between 400 and 500 metres on this one to start my sprint. I've got quite a prolonged sprint, so I'm alright at it, but I'm keeping an eye out for the guy Dirk, who's a bit of a sprinter, and I pop my boost now, and I just keep pumping orange numbers for as long as I can, and there he is. Dirk comes flying past. Hell of a sprint on him, but I'm still happy with second place. I didn't get second place yesterday, I was 15th, so I think these Zwift Racing score ranges, with, like I say, the top end of this being 5:10, it was definitely better suited for myself, and until I've gone beyond 5:10, I'll maybe stick into range 2 every now and again. Thanks for watching, guys. Stand by for stage 4 next week.